welcome to Snack Hour. My name is Tim. Welcome back to Longwinded by Nature, and I'll be your host today, as I am all the time. Snack Hour. If you've followed me on TikTok, then you've heard me talk about this probably 1,000 times. It's pretty simple. For us, between the hours of 8 and 9, it is your time to do as you please. That includes snacks, that includes work, that includes watching whatever on TV, that includes making a podcast. That includes watching your iPad. That includes whatever the fuck you want it to entail. Doesn't sound game-changing by any stretch of the imagination, but yet it is. So many couples, whether you're dating, married, etc., I feel like you fall into this trap where it's like, okay, cool, it's time to just sit next to each other on the couch and look at a big screen, which is totally fine. There's absolutely nothing against this. Kelly and I did that for years. I look forward to getting back to that place and having that be a version of Snack Hour. Snack Hour for us means being able to do whatever you want within what I just listed as you see fit. There was this huge breakthrough moment for us, 8 years ago or so, where I was so anxious at night about work. And I would sit there and be watching God knows what. Things that we loved, things that we enjoyed, and I just wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't actually relaxing. And it got to a point one night where I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm freaking the fuck out. I have to go in the other room and open up my laptop. And that opened up into a conversation about, well, what is actually going to make us happy? And not just in general, but during that time when we're usually just sitting there chilling out. It usually leads to, in those conversations, something about not spending quality time together. In my humble opinion, and this might piss some people off, it is not quality time when you're just sitting next to each other on a couch watching something else passively. Maybe you can talk about it afterwards, but in all reality, you're sitting there and you're just watching something that may or may not even be all that good or stimulating, whatever. And this is not to judge. If that's what makes you happy, God bless. The point I'm trying to make is that you should not feel obligated just to do that thing because it seems like the thing that couples do. You should feel like you can do whatever you want to as a couple. As long as you're supportive, as long as you're understanding, as long as you really see each other doing what's going to make you actually happy, which ultimately has to lead back to the two of you being happy together, right? That's the key in this. And once we had this somewhat breakthrough of Snack Hour, in that there were things that I wanted to get done, and I didn't want to watch whatever, and she had no interest in watching me on my laptop, there was just this really nice opportunity to say, I'm in the other room, but I'm still right here. We have these hilarious little moments where she walks into the kitchen and there's a break in the conversation, and probably more often I should be a bit more lighthearted about those moments, but it's made a huge, huge difference. So that's part one of why Snack Hour is important. The opportunity to not have to feel obligated just to sit next to each other on a couch to watch something because that feels like what you should do. And look, I will be the first to admit, I probably over-index or I exaggerate that to a certain extent, in that I should do at least a little bit of, I haven't watched TV in God knows how long. I should sit on the couch next to my wife more often. And that is 1,000% of goal of mine. Once I get through whatever this little phase is to figure out what the hell am I actually doing with my life, because those questions still pop up in 45. Let's put that to the side for a second. Totally glossed over that. The other point of Snack Hour, and this is for if you're single or if you're in a relationship, is we all bug out about work after hours. It's somewhat inevitable. Better or worse, it's just somewhat inevitable. If you dedicate some time where you let it back in, I did this TikTok recently about top 3 ways to leave work at the door. And was well received because I basically said, leave that shit at the door. Like, physically stop, say out loud, you are not allowed in the house with me. Number two was, if it's going to be in the house, then you have to find dedicated time so that you control it and it doesn't control you, right? Just walking around your house being bugged out about it sucks. But if you're like, all right, cool, fuck you, I'm coming back to you at 9 o'clock, you get a half hour of my time and that's it. That's what snack hour is for me. And that was also another huge breakthrough, where it wasn't just I'm being dragged around by my nostrils about this job and this career thing. I will make the day 100% on my watch. 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. prep for the day. 5 a.m. till whenever, TikToks or whatever I can do, if the time allows, content-wise, before going to the gym, working out. Like, if you follow me on TikTok, you probably know my 16-ish hour day ad nauseum at this point, because because I'm very predictable. Y'all know what you're getting when you're coming to my channel. The ability to have something carved out at the end of the day, especially when you start to get into broader management roles, and you know people are going to be waiting to hear back from you. And if that just in and of itself of review and approval stuff, you have to go into some sort of software and, do time cards, whatever your managerial administrative stuff is, I'll call it. Like, it's just easy time to knock that out. Or if you want to have some work dessert, right? If you're working on a big project that you're super proud of, etc., like, snack hour can be the time to get that shit done. By the way, this podcast is brought to you by nobody. This is supposed to be a fake commercial so that you get used to the fact that one day I hopefully will have commercials. I do not know how they do it. I never liked IPAs. All of a sudden they open a brewery 5 blocks away from my house. I go and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how is this possible? I was Miller Lite, which I still love, random ass shandies, and like just mediocre stuff across the board. Never liked IPAs. I was like, this is bitter. Why am I drinking like weird bitter oatmeal? This other half brewing, fuck you guys. You have ruined everything else. That was a commercial. That was an amazing commercial. That's the best commercial in the history of podcasts. Back to snack hour. Point number one is snack hour can be dedicated time so that when you're in a relationship, there is a way to say, we can do our own things slightly kind of next to each other, but it doesn't have to be, and we don't have to feel forced into a situation where we just sit on a couch and passively watch something else, because that's not actually spending time together. Snack hour gives you that allowance. Not for everybody, works for us, and I'm allowed to say that out loud. Number two, if you are or are not in a relationship, snack hour can be time where you can find a way to take the work stresses that you carry through the day and put it in a really specific and crisp window, and then deal with that shit during that time. And you can do so with a huge ass thing of popcorn, and you can do so with a 10.2% beer, and be perfectly happy and content. And then the rest of the time, work can fuck off. And you can be super present for dinner with your family. You can be present in all other things, and snack hour is that dedicated time. Am I perfect at that? Absolutely not. Has it helped a ton? 1,000%. There's no way I would have gotten through the last 10 years of my career if it wasn't for this simple concept of popcorn, beer, open up the laptop, deal with things in a crisp and concise manner during a very specific window of time so that I can go to bed clear-minded, ready for the next day, and do it all over again. And you know what? When I get up that next day, I'm super pumped for, guess what? Snack hour. Because I know it's coming at the end of the day. So if I get super stressed out during the day, I'm like, you know what? I can come back to it during snack hour. I don't give a shit about that right now. I'll deal with it later. It's like, I'll call it micro procrastinating. Because snack hour is always there and snack hour is built in. 3 recommendations for snack hour. Number 1, get yourself a big ass cup, especially if you like popcorn. Number 2, lesser evil as far as a popcorn recommendation goes. That's advertisement number 2. That's not actually an advertisement. They have sent me popcorn though before. They never paid me for anything, but good God, lesser evil is just outstanding. Some of the best popcorn for under 40 calories a cup. I've tried them all. Lesser evil, pink Himalayan sea salt. I'm sure the pumpkin spice flavor is coming out soon because they sent me a bag of that. And what was the other one? Pina colada was kind of interesting, but that was the summer version. Anyway, can't really go wrong with them. And get yourself a beer, but don't buy other half because it'll ruin all the beer for you. My name is Tim. This podcast is called Longwinded by Nature. This is one of the shortest episodes. I think this is going to be maybe 10 minutes because all you need to know is that snack hour exists. It can work from you. It can work for you. I've only had 2 sips of this, I promise. I just had the idea, had to come downstairs, turn this on, tell you about it. Let snack hour work for you. You should not be working for snack hour. Maybe I got that backwards. Anyway, you got the point of this. I'm going to shut up now. There's nothing wrong with a 10-minute podcast. I love you, and I'll see you on the next episode.